Imagine one brother standing tall in Westminster Abbey, crowned with centuries of honor, while the other paces in Montecito, furious that history is leaving him behind. Prince William's rise as the great master of the Order of the Bath wasn't just another royal ceremony. It was a clear message about the future of the crown. And while William looked every inch the king in waiting, Harry was left with nothing but silence. But the real shock isn't the title itself. It's what this moment revealed about loyalty, power, and a rivalry that may never heal. On May 16th, Westminster Abbey lit up with one of the most powerful ceremonies Britain has seen in years. Trumpets blared, robes shimmered, and King Charles placed his eldest son, Prince William, at the very center of history. William was officially installed as the Great Master of the Order of the Bath, a title soaked in tradition, honor, and centuries of loyalty. The scene was pure royalty. William standing tall beside his father, like a living portrait of the crown's future. It wasn't just a ceremony, it was a statement. The monarchy was showing the world exactly who they trusted to carry its legacy forward. But while the Abbey celebrated, someone else was watching from thousands of miles away, and what he felt was very different. And that's where the story takes a sharp turn. While the cameras captured William glowing in royal robes, Harry was nowhere in sight. Not invited, not included, not even mentioned. And that silence was louder than any headline, because for Harry, every trumpet blast in that abbey must have felt like a dagger. He once dreamed of being part of ceremonies like this, of standing in history instead of watching it from a distance. But instead, he's stuck in California, turning interviews into therapy sessions and memoir chapters into confessionals. The cruel irony, Harry walked away from the very thing he now can't stop talking about. And this event wasn't just a family snub, it carried a sting that cut even deeper. Because the title William received is about more than just ceremony. It's about service, legacy, and something Harry once claimed to stand for. But wait until you hear how this one title exposed the biggest difference between the brothers. The Great Master of the Order of the Bath might sound like a ceremonial title, but it's far from empty pageantry. This role ties William directly to the nation's military veterans and civil servants, honoring courage, sacrifice, and loyalty. In other words, it's the very heart of what the monarchy is supposed to represent, service above self. And watching William step into that role wasn't just symbolic, it was practical proof that he's being trusted to carry on the crown's legacy. For Harry, this had to sting. After all, he once built his entire public image on military service and duty. Yet now, the brother who stayed loyal is being rewarded, while the one who left is being written out of history. But here's where things get even more brutal, because when you put William's military past next to Harry's, the contrast is impossible to ignore. And what you're about to hear next will leave no doubt. William's military record speaks volumes. As a Royal Air Force search and rescue pilot, he flew dangerous missions, saving lives and proving his commitment through real action. No shortcuts, no complaints, just service. Harry, on the other hand, started strong but couldn't finish the race. He left mid-tour, later using interviews and memoirs to air his grievances instead of his achievements. And while William quietly served with dignity, Harry turned his military past into talking points for podcasts and media deals. That difference between showing up and walking away was on full display during this ceremony. William embodied duty and silence, while Harry keeps trying to rewrite his story from across the Atlantic. But as much as Harry wanted to carve his own path, the gamble he made back in 2020 changed everything. And what happened after that would seal his fate with the crown forever. Back in 2020, Harry and Meghan thought they had cracked the code. They wanted the best of both worlds. The royal status, the titles, the prestige, without the rules, the duties, or the restrictions. It was the so-called half-in, half-out plan, a remix of monarchy in Hollywood that had never been tried before. But the palace wasn't buying it. The monarchy doesn't do compromises, and it definitely doesn't do remixes. In the eyes of the crown, you're either all in or you're out. Harry chose freedom, but what he lost was far bigger than he expected. Every title, every honor, every symbol of tradition slipped through his hands. And watching William receive yet another role that Harry once dreamed of must have been a brutal reminder of that failed gamble. But the real damage wasn't just royal. It hit Harry and Meghan where they care most, their public image. And what happened next would expose just how far the brothers had drifted apart. In the eyes of the public, the divide couldn't be clearer. William stands as the picture of dignity, reserved, loyal, and embodying centuries of tradition without saying a word. Every ceremony he attends only strengthens the image of a steady heir, the kind of leader the crown can rely on. Harry and Meghan, meanwhile, are seen chasing cameras instead of causes. Netflix deals, staged interviews, and red carpet appearances have replaced the duty and service Harry once promised. And the contrast is striking. One brother builds respect by staying silent. The other keeps talking, but loses credibility with every headline. But the gap didn't just stop at public image. It grew even wider as William collected more honors and responsibilities. And that's when the symbolism of this rivalry became impossible to ignore. Wait until you hear how the crown made its point, without saying a single word. The symbolism was undeniable. In Westminster Abbey, William didn't need speeches or interviews. His quiet presence said everything. Draped in ceremonial robes, standing shoulder to shoulder with King Charles, he radiated stability and loyalty. Meanwhile, Harry's reality was playing out thousands of miles away. Endless media deals, tell-all projects, and public complaints that only deepened the cracks in his reputation. It was loyalty versus bitterness, tradition versus rebellion, and the monarchy made it clear which side it valued. Every honor given to William was also a silent reminder of what Harry had thrown away, and the sharpest message of all wasn't spoken. It was delivered in silence, because the more William rose, the less anyone in the royal family even mentioned Harry's name. But the real question now is bigger than a title or a ceremony. It's about the future of the monarchy itself, and what comes next could change the royal family forever. William's new role wasn't just another title. It was a powerful signal about the monarchy's future. With every honor placed on his shoulders, the crown was reinforcing a clear message. William is the heir, the stabilizer, the one trusted to carry centuries of tradition forward, and every time William rises, Harry's absence becomes more glaring. The contrast is now so sharp, it's impossible to ignore. One brother stepping deeper into history, the other fading further into Hollywood's spotlight. For the royal family, it's a story of continuity. For Harry, it's a story of regret. And as the gap widens, the question becomes unavoidable. Can Harry ever claw his way back into the fold, or has he already burned the final bridge? Because what comes next may decide not just Harry's fate, but the legacy of the monarchy itself. In the end, the contrast couldn't be starker. Prince William stands taller with every honor, embodying the loyalty and stability that the crown depends on. Harry, meanwhile, drifts further into bitterness, chasing relevance while the monarchy moves forward without him. History has always rewarded those who stay the course, and William has proven he doesn't need to shout to be heard. Harry's story, however, is starting to look like one long rerun of missed chances and broken bridges. The question now is simple. Will Harry realize it before it's too late, or has the future already left him behind? If you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. There's so much more coming, because in the world of royalty, every ceremony hides a secret, and every silence speaks louder than words. You won't want to miss what's revealed next.